Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well today. Today's going to be my monthly reset. We're going to be saying goodbye to the first month of 2023 and transitioning nicely into February with some clear goals in mind and knowing exactly what we want to achieve. Before we get into this, please go grab yourself a nice drink. I've got myself a coffee. I actually put honey in my coffee. I know it sounds weird, but please don't knock it till you try it. It's actually really nice. I've also got myself a nice cozy blanket because we're going to be here a while, so we just want to relax, unwind. I started this series on my channel last month and it's going to be a safe space where we can all get together, we can review our goals, we can try and not get overwhelmed because I am the #1 queen of getting overwhelmed. We can just, you know, chat in the comments together, help each other out, give each other tips and ideas. I just really want to create a nice space for all of us to have a little community where we can keep each other motivated and on track. So this video, if you haven't watched one of these before, is basically going to be a video where I review my yearly goals, but I'm breaking them down each month, because if we have a list of like, right, I want to achieve X, Y, Z this year, it can seem so overwhelming and so out of reach. And that is why it's so important to break it down every single month. But it's not just goals, it's going to be things like budget tracking as well. So we're going to be looking at my finances. I'm going to be talking about some of my favourites from January, so my favourite books and products and things like that. So I think a fun place to start will be to review January to see what I achieved, what I maybe missed off, or, you know, things I didn't quite reach and why. So when it comes to my goals, I literally just track everything in a notepad. It's a very basic notepad. It's not a fancy planner or anything like that. I've just tailored this to what I want. So for example, I built myself a social tracker, so obviously where I do social media, I want to track each month where my follower count is. So I've put YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and I basically am going to put what I started the month on and what I ended the month, and then I can review throughout the year where we're at. Obviously you can just tailor these trackers to your liking. Another tracker that I created for January was a health tracker, and what I mean by health was basically, was I ill, was I okay, and what exercise did I do? So this is what my health tracker looks like. Nothing is fancy. I could probably make this a lot nicer, and I probably will over time, but I just wanted a starting point. I didn't want to get overwhelmed and like build big spreadsheets and stuff like that. I love things on a notepad. I do use my laptop too, but yeah, I love my notepads for things like this. Basically, I just put January health tracker at the top, and then I put all the dates in, excuse my awful writing. I put the exercises that I undertook this month, and then I also rated myself what I ate this particular day. So for example, like 80-20 means 80% was healthy, 20% wasn't, if you see what I mean. I did not push myself this month with exercise. I thought, let's transition slowly, because if you watched my last video, I had the flu and I was still struggling, in all honesty. At the beginning of January I was really struggling, so I thought, we're not going to set any crazy goals and be like, you have to get on that treadmill every day, you've got to work out. I just thought, do each day what feels comfortable for you. It actually turns out that I did 5 out of 7 days exercise throughout the month each week, so I was really chuffed with that. And as the weeks went by, my exercise considerably increased. So if you can see this, at the start there's quite a lot of these lines, which basically meant I didn't work out. And then here I've had a 5-day streak, so I'm really chuffed with how my health tracker went for January, and it's really great to just see it in front of me and to see what I'm doing. Another tracker that I created for January was a wellness tracker, and my wellness tracker was basically to track my mood, how I'm feeling, to rate the day out of 10, and to put on here what I've done for my mental health and for my well-being, because I think that's something that was such a big focus for me this year as well, because I have been in a little bit of a rut towards the back end of 2022, and I really wanted to make sure that I felt happy again. So this is what my wellness tracker looks like. So yeah, I literally just do a little smiley face or a sad face, however I'm feeling. I rate the day and obviously put the date as well. Something I also put is P for period, because I thought that was quite interesting to see that when I was on my period were quite low days. I had a 4 out of 10, a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10. When I had the flu earlier on in the month, I was getting 2s out of 10s, 3s out of 10s, but there was quite a few 7, 8s and 9s in the middle of the month, which I was really happy with. And on this side, I just put what I did each day for me. Sometimes I put nothing, worked a lot because I didn't do any self-care, and that's a highlight to me of you should have taken a little bit of time for yourself that day and you didn't. But there's a lot on here of like, saw a friend, went shopping. I also put on here when I felt overwhelmed. I really recommend doing a wellness tracker just so you can see, because it really is helpful to follow the patterns and to see where your head's at and how you've been feeling that month. So let's go back to my social tracker for my social media, because I want to look at the numbers, because that will kind of coincide with my January goals to help us identify if I've hit them or not. Okay, so we're going to start with YouTube. So I'm currently on 72263. I mean, we are a few days before the end of the month, but yeah, so I haven't had the best growth this month on YouTube. It's been quite a slow month. I think I've gone up by like 300. You know, it is what it is. TikTok, on the other hand, has been a great month. So on TikTok, I'm currently on 33,400. So I've gone up drastically on TikTok, which I was not expecting. So it just shows sometimes the areas you're not expecting are the ones that grow the most. Instagram, I'm currently sitting on 130,154. So I've barely grown on Instagram, but in my last video, I did say that Instagram is really hard at the minute because I wasn't posting, so I was kind of losing followers at the same rate I was gaining. So I'm glad that I've managed to grow just a tiny bit on there, not much, but just a little bit. So now let's have a look at my January goals and assess where we're at for the month. I think I'm actually going to start with health, and then yeah, just in no particular order. So my first goal for January in my health section was to try Pilates properly. I did do 2 lots of Pilates. I went to a class and I also did it at home, so I do feel like I've tried it kind of properly, so I'm going to give that one a nice big juicy tick. My next goal was to get back to regular walks. So I've walked most days in January, which is great. When I walk, I just feel so much like calmer and relaxed, and it really does get rid of any stresses. So if you're a stressy person and you're working a lot and you're at a desk, or just in general, please just give yourself 20 minutes, half an hour lunch break, get out and get some fresh air, because it does you the world of good. My next one was to see a counsellor 2 times, because where I was feeling really down towards the end of last year, I felt like I really needed to work through that. I did see a counsellor once. I didn't particularly feel like I got much out of it, and throughout the month I started feeling a lot better. And I'm kind of one of them people where when I'm feeling better, I don't want to dwell on the things that made me feel rubbish. And I know that's probably not great. You probably should work through them. But for now, I do want to put that on pause, because it's not something I want to do at the minute. I know in the future I'm going to have to do it, but I feel like I've got myself back to feeling quite happy again, and I really don't want to jeopardise that by going over stuff that upsets me. So I'm going to put a line through that one, because I didn't achieve that. The next one was to take more time for myself, self-care. We're going to give that one a big tick, because I've been really enjoying doing things for myself this month, such as just like relaxing pamper evenings. I've been watching a lot as well. So what have I watched this month? I finished up Ginny and Georgia, which I absolutely love. I'll chuck in like little favourites and stuff in these videos too, because it just keeps it fun, doesn't it, and like interesting for you. So Ginny and Georgia I love, please watch it. Emily in Paris, I've watched that, absolutely loved it. I also watched Partner Track, which I absolutely loved. It was a bit like Suits, but more girly. It was basically based at a lawyer firm, and sadly they've not renewed for season 2, which I was absolutely gutted about, like absolutely gutted. I also finished off Firefly Lane season 2 as well. So yeah, really happy that I spent some time just to indulge and watch things that were just a complete switch off. They're not always learning, but on to learning. I have been doing my fair share of reading this month, which is not something I normally do, but it's something I'm incorporating into my life, and it is a form of self-care and also self-development and growth. So I thought I'd share with you what I have been reading this month and give you like a little review. So the first thing that I have been reading is Good Vibes, Good Life. I did mention this in my last video. Please, please, please read this. If you're looking to be more positive, to change your outlook on life, maybe you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps, this book will completely transform the way you view things. You'll get something out of this book if you read it. You will get something out of this book, and it's a fairly easy read. It's not too heavy. It's just a really positive book which will change your outlook on everything. So you need to read this. You need to, okay? I'm telling you now. The next book that I finished in January was this one. So this is called Starts With Why. This is by Simon Sinek. And this is an amazing book if you are someone that is looking to be an entrepreneur, you're looking to start your own business, maybe you have a business already, but it's also very eye-opening if you work in a corporate job, in an office job, and you know when you just feel like you don't quite fit in. Sometimes you feel like you try and better things or improve things, and people just kind of put a block to things, and you don't understand why certain individuals act the way they act at a higher level. This book will explain so much of that. It's been so eye-opening for me. I've learned so much from this book. And with this book, it's just really opened my eyes as well as to why we do the things we do, what are the driving factors behind what we do, all the emotional side as well. in business, even in life, it's truly about kind of getting to the core reason of why do you do what you do, and it's just so eye-opening. The last book that I've been reading, which I have not finished yet, is this one. This one is called Drive: The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us, and this is by Daniel H. Pink. I have not finished this book. I am literally just under halfway, and this book again is very interesting. It's about what motivates people specifically at work and to do things in life. Yeah, it's quite a heavy read, I'll be honest. It's a very heavy read, so I can't say too much more on this book just yet because I haven't finished reading it. But yeah, I have been really enjoying this book and I look forward to finishing it up. And then if I've wanted something just more relaxing to read, because let's be real here, we don't always want to read a heavy book like this. Like, sometimes we just want something a bit more light-hearted, easier to follow. Doesn't have to always be educational. I've been really enjoying reading some magazines. So magazines feel a bit like a blast from the past. I don't buy magazines anymore because they're so expensive, for one, and I just feel like it's such a waste. Like, you buy a magazine, you literally read it and it's done and dusted, and then no one's going to care about it in a month's time, which is just such a waste, and you know, the impact on the environment I don't like. So it's different with a book like this because I'll read this, I'll refer back to it so many times and I can pass this on to someone else. But I just feel like a magazine is a waste of resource when it comes to printing it. So I've been enjoying reading some magazines literally from the comfort of my phone, which is great because if I'm like traveling somewhere, or you know, if I'm out and about and I don't want to have to carry anything with me too, then I can just be like, oh, I'm going to pick up my phone, I'm going to have a scroll and read what I'm interested in. I've been really enjoying reading Ideal Home because it has so many good ideas for your house. Like, you guys know I love interior, so to see all the way they style things is amazing. And I've also been enjoying reading Forbes because in Forbes they have a 30 under 30 section, and I don't know if you guys ever watched The Bold Type, but I love The Bold Type. It's literally one of my favourite shows. I recommend it too. And Jane was being interviewed for 30 under 30, so when I saw it I was like, oh, like, she mentioned that, it must be good. So I had to read of that as well. I've been using an app called Readly for it. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but yeah, it's basically an app you can download on your phone and it has access to so many titles. There are so many categories like beauty, fashion, cooking, health, wellness, business. There's just so much on there. Literally, like, you'll be shocked at how many things you can find on there. You can download them as well, so like if you're flying, for example, you can just download it and have a read. You haven't got to worry about buying something at the airport. If it's something that your friends and family might be interested in too, then you can actually share the login because it has up to 5 user profiles. So that's great because it's obviously like saving extra money too. I think the magazine that I'm going to be reading for this coming month is going to be the Entrepreneur one because it kind of aligns with some of my goals going forwards, because I am looking into like different business moves, which I've kind of briefly touched on in the past. I haven't really told you guys anything about it, but yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting read for me for this coming month. If it sounds like something you would be interested in, then I've managed to get you an amazing deal, guys. You can get 2 months free access to Readly. You can cancel at any time as well, so literally, like, what are you missing out on? You may as well take advantage of it. So I'll leave the information in the description box down below. So yeah, that is my little like reading section of this video, which kind of ties into the self-care, like I said. So I feel like I've been waffling on about that for a while now, so let's move on to financials, because you know, we all like a bit of financial talk. You guys probably nosy and like to know things. So my first financial goal was to have 2 business meetings, and I actually had 5 business meetings, so we well and truly exceeded that goal for this month, so that was great. My next financial goal was to save £2,000, which I have done this month, so I'm really chuffed with that as well. That was actually part of my yearly goal, which is to max out my ISA allowance. So yeah, I'm trying to break it down each month to be like, right, if you save this, you can obviously work towards your yearly goal. The next goal I had was to invest £500. I'll be honest, I haven't done that. It's not out of not having the money to do it. I mean, I did set aside the money to do it, but I haven't had the time. I haven't had the time to think about what I want to actually invest my money in. So I don't want to just make a hasty decision and invest without really knowing, so I'm gonna have to say no to that one. And then the next one was get a few deals locked in for February. So I really wanted to be a bit more on it with my YouTube, my social media, because sometimes it can be stressful when you don't know what you've got the next month. You know, I want to be having partnerships booked in way in advance, so I know what work I've got coming in, so it's a little bit more consistent. Then we will move on to socials. So socials has been a bit of a month. I wanted to go up by 1,500 on YouTube because December was a great month. I grew quite a bit, but you know what? We haven't managed that. We've gone up by about 300 on YouTube, so we've not achieved that. I wanted to go up by 1,000 on TikTok. I've gone up by about 7,000, so you know, it just shows, like, with social media, you just can't put too much of a number on these things because I don't know what I'm going to go up by. You can set these goals, but sometimes you're just not going to reach them, and it's okay. Like, it's okay to not reach your goals. Let me just say that as well and normalize it. Like, you don't have to reach every single goal you set out for. This is just like an overview of, I'd like to do this, if you see what I mean. I wanted to go up by 1,000 on Instagram, didn't do that, went up by about 150. I wanted to establish differences per platform and implement. So I felt like I was in a bit of a rut with everything, to be honest with you, pre-Christmas. Like, I just didn't know what I was doing. I feel like we're on track. We're on track for knowing what we're doing now. I'm trying to make all my platforms more aligned to me as a person. Previously, I just posted fashion on Instagram, but in all honesty, I'm more than just fashion. I like business, I like work sort of vlogs and health and wellness and motivation and all them things. So I've been trying to incorporate mini vlogs on my Instagram too. So I feel like I've done that and then get back into a routine. So my yearly goal is to be really consistent and post 3 times a week on Instagram and YouTube. And I've been doing that so far this month. I've uploaded loads. It's not been as bad as I thought. The last category is lifestyle. So the first lifestyle goal was to get at least 2 date nights in with Jordan, because my goal for this whole year is to just invest more time into my loved ones and really make the most of special moments. So we did that, so that's good. And then take my dad out for his birthday. It's my dad's 60th birthday tomorrow. So I am taking him out, but it's tomorrow, but we can say yes to that one because it's happening. And then I wanted to have weekly date nights with my friends. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 date nights with my friends this month. It was a heavy month of socialising. And then get something fun in the diary for February. I mean, I already did that because I booked Chris Brown. We did 13 out of 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 17. 13 out of 17 goals were achieved this month, which I'm really chuffed with, guys. I'm actually really chuffed with that. So yeah, that is my January goals reviewed. Like I say, you know, we're not always going to hit every goal we set. It's all right. We're going to take some time now, I think, to have a think about what we want to set for February. When it comes to setting your monthly goals, guys, think about your bigger picture goals. Like, for example, if it is weight, if you're thinking, I want to lose a stone, set your monthly goal to something realistic to help you work towards that. It might be, this month, I want to make sure that 5 out of 7 days I'm eating clean. Or this month, I want to make sure that I move my body every day for at least 20 minutes. Set things that aren't ridiculously hard to achieve, because you don't want your goals list to be this overbearing, like, horrible list that you look at and you think, oh my God, like, I hate you. You want to kind of look at it throughout the month, check in. Like, I checked in, if you can see here, like, I was putting hundreds next to my social media every time it happened, so I could kind of check in, see where I was at. Monthly goals are meant to be more fun and a little bit more attainable than obviously our bigger picture goals, if you see what I mean. We're gonna go now. I'll be back soon, and then we can talk about my February goals. And then we'll get on to all the financy stuff, like my budget tracker for this month, what I plan on spending. I love seeing that from people, like to see what money they're spending. And I'll also discuss my favourite products of the month as well, which is very exciting. I've just set my February goals. You might have seen what I did was I kept kind of going back to my annual goals and looking at them and thinking, what can I like water down, you know? And obviously, like I say, not trying to achieve the full goal here, but like, what can I take from my annual goal and kind of like place it into February to kind of just, you know, to start the month. My February goals are not going to be too number focused. I feel like I put too much focus on numbers in January. It's just not something we can predict, and I feel like it puts a lot of pressure, because it's funny, TikTok was not the platform I really thought I'd grow much on this month, but I've grown the most. Whereas I think because I set goals for Instagram and YouTube, which I knew were quite challenging because they're hard platforms to grow on, I think I almost had too much internal pressure, and I didn't like how it made me feel, and I was obsessing over it a lot in the month, if I'm honest. So I wanted to take them away, because if something's causing me stress and it's not going to make me more productive, then I kind of don't want it around me. I'll pop a picture on screen of my goals. I'm so sorry, guys, my writing is terrible, and I feel like I don't know if you can actually read it or not, so tell me if it's even useful it being on the screen. We're going to start with my social goals, which are social media focused, okay? So my first goal for February is to keep up posting work and fashion split. So what I mean by that is just to keep up with, you know, doing some worky vlog style videos that I do on TikTok and Instagram and fashion. I want to put out what I love. I don't want my pages to not reflect who I truly am as a person. And I feel like last year I was getting a bit too lost in, oh, well, that does really well, so I can't show that. But actually, if I keep posting the work stuff, hopefully over time people will follow me for that, not just fashion, if that makes sense. My next goal for socials is to film more chatty videos on TikTok. So I feel like I have started to do it, and I feel like TikTok is more of a platform where people want to get to know you as a person, like YouTube. It's not like Instagram where it's all picture perfect. Like, TikTok's real, and I want to just be more comfortable just picking up the camera on a random day, film myself getting ready, or filming whatever I'm up to and not having to constantly think about it too much. I want to make sure that I just get more comfortable on TikTok just to post whatever I want, whenever I want. I've put get YouTube views up. Now, this is the only kind of number that I've put on here. Put that I want to get 10,000 views plus per video, because my YouTube has taken a hit around December time. I'm not really sure why. I actually feel a bit irritated by it because I've been putting so much effort into my content. I actually feel like I've tried so much harder, and I've tried to bring like decent videos, like my savings videos and side hustles, and they've absolutely tanked. And it's really disheartening, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you put a lot of time and effort into something that you really want to help people with, and it does rubbish, and then you do a Primark video which is so easy to film and it does really well. I mean, I know it's because it's popular, but anyway, I just want my YouTube videos to be up as a whole. 10,000 is a good number for me, like, you know, as a minimum. So I'd really like to, hopefully my views go up. Don't really know how to do that other than just keep going. I've put get a bigger fee deal locked in because the last few months I've had a lot of work on, which has been amazing. The fees have been lower because of everything going on in the world, because we are basically in a recession. Brands are obviously not looking to commit as much money, which I completely understand, but I would really like to have just a bit of a bigger fee locked in for one of my deals for February or March, because ultimately the bigger fees you can get, the less work you have to take on, and it's less pressure, and then I can do less ad content. Obviously all the ads I take on are things I try, test, I know I like, but even still, I know what it's like as a consumer. If every video is ad, you kind of just switch off and you think, oh. And I don't want to be one of them people that just puts out ad every single video. I don't anyway, but I just want to make sure that I can try and get a few bigger fees locked in so I can take on less work, but more quality fees, if that makes sense. It's kind of outside of my control, but it's a wish. I also want to get a few TikTok collaborations. So this month just gone in January, I did really well for TikTok collabs. I think I had like 4 or 5, which is the most I've ever had. I've had an odd little one here and there, but it's never been a platform where brands have really wanted to pay me for. And I've finally started making money from TikTok, which is just amazing. I'm so happy with it because, yeah, I just love it. I feel like TikTok is the easiest platform to create ads on because I just seamlessly integrate it into my life, because they're products or apps and things I try, test, I like, and it's just so much easier. Whereas with YouTube, sometimes brands are very pushy on how they want something to be put across to their audience, whereas I feel like on TikTok, brands seem to be a bit more relaxed about it, which I just love. That's how it should be. Moving on to lifestyle. So my lifestyle goals for this month are just fun things. My first one is to book something fun for March, because one of my yearly goals is to make sure I have fun every single month and something decent to look forward to. So I need to get something in the diary for March. No idea what that's going to be. I've also said I want to book a holiday because I really want to go away in maybe like May time. I'm probably not going to go away until then, if I'm honest. Maybe I will, but I don't have any plans to. But I would really like to get that booked, or at least planned, you know. I've also said a day out with my mum because I just want to spend quality time with my parents. So that's something really important for me this year. And then I've put keep the house tidy daily and to tidy it up after myself. Now, where I create content and I'm a busy gal, I just create so much mess. I am a serial person where I just trash the house and then I'm tired and I don't want to deal with it. But then that stresses me out because I like tidiness, I like minimal, I don't like stuff around. So it completely impacts my mood. So I know that if I get better, I'm creating myself less work and I'm going to be in a better mood. So it's a win-win. So it's an easy thing to do, but it's not something I do. So that is something I need to implement. It's a healthy habit that I need to implement for February. Then on to health and wellness. My first one is to finish off this book Drive, because I don't want to be halfway through a book and leaving it because I'm going to forget what I've read. So I need to finish that book off. And then I've also said I want to read another book because I want to keep the reading going. I don't want to be someone that reads a new book every single day about self-development and that, because I think we can get a bit too sucked into it sometimes, and ultimately if you're reading these things, it's all well and good, but you do need to implement what you're learning, otherwise it's kind of pointless. So I'd rather just focus on a few key books that I think are really going to help me or that are recommended, and actually read them, digest them, give myself time, understand them, and then see if I can take any tips from them to change the way I live my life. Move my body daily, that's so important for me. When I move my body, I am happier, I'm healthier, I am less stressed. It helps everything. It helps my hormones, I feel like. There is no negative of moving your damn body, and there's no excuse, you know. I don't care how busy you are. I've been working 2 jobs for the last 5 years. Like, you can move your body every single day. If it's for 20 minutes, you can do it. And if you think you can't do it, I seriously question why you're not taking a lunch break. For example, you need a lunch break. Like, it is scientifically proven that you will be more on the ball and get stuff done more efficiently and clearer if you have regular breaks. So get yourself out for your walk. That is me telling you as your big sis or little sis, however old, I don't know how old you are, but please listen to me and move your damn body, and I'm telling myself too. Also, eat my vegetables every single day. These are basic boring ass things, but like I say, I want this month to be a little bit less. You know, we don't need every month to be cracking the whip. Like, we need some slower, more comfortable months. And this month is more about healthy habits. So eat veg every day. I do eat a lot of veg most days, but every day. Like, it's, again, there's no excuse not to eat veg. Our bodies need it. And then on to finances. There's a lot of like financial businessy things, like I say, going on in the background. And it sounds like this big, like, oh, what is it, Hazel? It's just something I'm thinking about. And I'll talk you through my tracker in a second for that. But anyways, my first thing is to finalise the website, because the idea I've got, if it's going to go ahead, I at least need to set everything up professionally so it looks decent. So I need to finalise my website in February. I also need to finalise some figures, because again, it's one of them things where if you don't know about budgets or what you're spending on these things, it's a no-go. So I need to look at figures. Is it actually going to work financially to even do it? I've also put decide if I want to repay my car debt. So basically my outstanding car loan is about 9.5 grand, which sounds like a lot, but I did pay like 22 for my car, and it's dramatically dropping, but it's costing me £320 a month. So it's a case of, do I clear the debt and have more money each month, or do I just keep paying it each month and have the savings, if you see what I mean? I personally am leaning towards paying it off. One of my yearly goals was to invest £10,000, and in a way, if I clear this, I'm investing £10,000 into myself, because by clearing it, I'm then generating myself extra income each month, if you see what I mean. I know it's kind of, it's apples and apples almost, because you've got the savings and higher outgoings, or you've got no outgoing, well, you've got lower outgoings and more savings, but ultimately, it will probably help me feel less stressed each month because my outgoings are coming down, because I feel like my outgoings are damn high. We'll get onto them in a bit. So yeah, I would like to decide if I'm going to do that and just get it done if I'm going to do it. And then I've put save 2,000 again, just because I need to keep working towards my savings goals, because we've got big goals around here. So they're my February goals. We're going to quickly look at my business tracker, and then we can get on to the fun stuff like our budget and favourites. So where is my business tracker? Here we go. This is my business tracker. This page was just for me to document what I'm doing in terms of my business idea. So basically, I've got an idea of something I may or may not want to do. It's not a product or anything like that. Like, it's nothing exciting that you guys are going to be interested in. It's something really random. But yeah, it's something I'm thinking about, and it's a case of I need to do the research, because God guys, like, I did not realise how much research is involved in setting anything up. So this page was just going to be throughout the year, like when I've got spare time to just review it. I thought this was going to take a long time, but this page is filling up fast, and this is just January, so I've done all these things this month which I was not anticipating. So this month I have got my company name established, I've created a draft website, I've had an initial meeting with someone, I've had a third meeting with someone, I've had another third meeting, I've had a follow-up call, I've set up my LinkedIn profile for it, and I've created a business draft plan. So we've actually done a lot for January, which I was not anticipating. It's been a busy business month. It's just an idea, like I say, at the minute, but it's something I like to track because I can clearly see what I've done. And you know what? It's really kind of interesting learning about all this because it's helping me understand how businesses get started, and it's going to really help me in the future because I'm sure in the future I'll want to have my own, I don't know, I'd love to have an interior brand. Like, that is my ultimate goal. So to understand the workings, if this happens or it doesn't happen, I don't really care. I'm enjoying learning about how to start up a business and understanding the negotiations you need to have and the sort of discussions you need to have. And like I say, this sounds all very confusing. It's nothing exciting at all that you guys will be interested in, but it will all be revealed in due course. Okay, so let's get on to my budget tracker. So I watch quite a few videos like this one on YouTube. So many people have these big fancy spreadsheets. In all honesty, I find it all a little bit overwhelming. Unless you really need them, I just think keep it simple. So I use the notes on my phone. I'll do a little screen recording for you to show you. So this is basically my budget tracker. I did it on the notes on my phone. It's so simple and easy. So with my household bills, things like, you know, the mortgage, any insurance policies, Lola, my dog, our food, heating, gas, all that stuff, I know what that costs each month, and me and Jordan put half of that each into our joint account. So sometimes people break that down, but personally I don't need to. I know what I'm spending each month. I know it's going up because the cost of living is going up, but for now I know what it is. So basically I've done an essentials section on here, as you can see. So half of my bills with my joint account is $1,200 a month, so I know every single month I've got to pay out for that. And then my car is $320 a month, my car insurance $44, mobile contract, income protection, car tax. So basically my total essential outgoings every single month, which are fixed, they cannot be changed, $1,621. So this is without travel, by the way. This is without any, like, doing anything. This is without car services or anything cropping up, which we know things crop up all the time. So my outgoings are high. My outgoings are high, and on an average month, just living, as in, even if I don't do anything exciting, if I'm just literally popping down to the shops, buying a few random bits, getting fuel because my car is juicy, like that goes through fuel quickly, I'm probably spending $2,000 a month easy, and that's without doing anything. So my outgoings are high, my cost of living is quite high. It's gone up considerably since the days when I was in my apartment. So yeah, that's something I would like to get down. So that's why I feel like I've got a hair, by the way, if I keep touching my face, but that's why I said that I wanted to potentially pay off my car, because if I do, that is going to drop that quite a lot, and that'll be very nice to just, because it's not nice knowing every month I've got this ridiculous amount coming out of my account. It's just crazy. It's a lot of money, isn't it? So that needs to come down. And then my subscriptions, which are obviously things I can cancel, which, you know, Spotify, £10. We're happy with that. I listen to music all the time, so I'm cool paying that. And then essentials for business. So these are things like I need for my YouTube channel or whatever I do. So I've got a variety of things on there. They're only £29 a month. They're a business expense anyway, so they help me with tax. Not that it's a massive saving, but I've got them on there too. And then general expected outgoings, so fuel $150. In all honesty, it's often more than that, probably $200. Eating out, I put $100, and shopping $200. I'm always going to shop because I create content, so I'm never going to be a normal consumer. I spend more than the average person because I do think about, oh, I can create this video or this. So yeah, that's another $450. So yeah, you can see how my cost of living is, you know, it is quite high actually, I think. But anyways, that is my budget tracker for this month, so I know roughly what I'm going to be spending this month. I don't have any planned anything else. If I did, I would put them on here, but yeah, for now I don't have anything. But it's just good for me to be able to go on here to see this is what my actual cost of living is. If you are interested, by the way, in like properly reviewing your cost of living, then please go back and check out one of my savings videos. I'll link it down below because that will really help you to cut your costs and cut your cost of living. So anyways, that is my budget tracker done, and now we're going to go on to the favourites. We're going to talk about a few products which I've been loving this month, which I highly recommend, and we'll wrap the video up because I feel like we've been going on a long time now. I am enjoying myself, guys. It's really nice to just have a very chilled, like, sit down chatty video with you, just to kind of review the month and yeah, just get our heads clear and straight for the month ahead. Okay, so things I've been loving for this month. These are more like beauty, lifestyle sort of products. So, okay, here are some. The first thing I've been loving this month, which I feel like I cannot be without when it comes to my face, because, I don't know, like, I'm not a greasy person or oily, but my face always seems to be shiny. It's obviously the foundation I use. But anyway, Laura Mercier translucent powder. This is a holy grail. I feel like everyone knows about this. It is so worth the investment, honestly. Like, it lasts forever. Not that you need to see it, but yeah, it's just the best powder. You put it on your face, it just makes your foundation kind of like settle in. It's just amazing. I honestly love it. It's great for pictures as well. It always looks amazing. There's no like flashback or anything weird. So I love this. Very, very happy with it. My next product I've been loving, which you can clearly tell, is this, because it's nearly all out now. And this is the Liz Earle Hot Cloth Cleanser. Every time I use this, I feel like I'm in a spa. Like, it's so... oh, it's just so dreamy. Like, it's so nice to take my makeup off with. It smells incredible. Like, I just can't recommend it enough. I've seen this all over the internet since I was probably 13 when I was watching Zoe Sugg. Back in the day when she was Zoella. Is she Zoella anymore? I don't know. But yeah, I used to love watching her when I was younger, and she would always use that. And yeah, finally, I'm now a Liz Earle fan, and I use it because I can actually afford it. Not that I paid for this one, I'll be honest. That was in PR, but you know, I would obviously buy it myself. Back then, there was no way. Something else I've been absolutely loving is this. This is the Perricone MD Cold Plasma Plus Hydrating Complex. Oh no, my battery's flashing. I've nearly got through this. This is a really great, thick, rich, moisturising like cream. I just chuck it all over my face and on my neck, and then I use any leftovers on my hands, to be fair, because I'm quite liberal with it. It's just amazing. It smells quite fresh. It's just great. It doesn't irritate my skin. I'm quite sensitive, but it doesn't irritate me in the slightest. My skin is always hydrated. I'm not having any like flakiness to my skin, which I always get this time of the year, so love that. Another thing I love is these fragrances by Dialect. Dialect fragrances, I've worked with them quite a few times now. They are the most amazing scents, and they're basically like dupes for your favourite high-end brands, but at a fraction of the price. They're great. They last all day long. They are so strong and long lasting. I just feel like now, like, I will never go back. I mean, I've got loads of perfumes, so I've got perfumes I need to get through, but when you can get ones this great that smell identical for so much less, why would you spend like £100 on a bottle when you can spend like 20-30 pounds? It just doesn't make sense to me. So these are a favourite of mine. I'll be really quick because my battery's flashing. The last thing I'm going to show is the Lifter Gloss by Maybelline. Love this. This is in the shade Amber. I recommend all of them. I recommend the Silk one. I recommend all of them because they're amazing. I'm wearing it right now. They're my favourite glosses. They're so great. They've got great pigmentation. They last all day, and they're just absolutely incredible. Right guys, thank you so much for watching. The battery is flashing. If it cuts off, I'm so sorry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would love for you to subscribe and stick around for future content. We're gonna have these every single month so we can be accountable together, so we can check in, review our goals, and reach for our dreams this year, as cringy as that sounds. So thank you for watching. Make sure you check out Readly's offer as well, like I mentioned, because it's amazing. Like, free membership for 2 months. You may as well give it a try. Thank you, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.